Remember, if you don't like it.
Yep.
No, I
What
told
do you mean
you.
if he doesn't like it?
If he
What
doesn't
if I
like
don't
it,
like
we do
it?
it.
You don't like it too bad.
Good morning, and welcome everyone to the January 16, 2018 edition of our podcast, Behind the Counter, presented by Insane Games. Our second episode, two-time! Two-time. We have myself, Dave Man the Gamer. We've got the Gamer. Well, you know, I've already messed up the things. It's only been 2 episodes.
You're the nerd, Dave.
Woo! We've got Mike, the Gamer. We've got myself, Dave Man, the Nerd, if I can remember my lines. We've got Tyler flexing his biceps all the way in Clearwater, Florida, the Kid. And we've got the head honcho, the big cheese, the nacho melt himself, Dan, the Mouse. We are broadcasting from Insane Games in Queensbury, New York, and down south in Clearwater, Florida. We are also a special edition broadcasting live on Facebook Live for all of our friends out there who have liked and shared our things. So, my friends, are you ready to do this, Mike?
I'm ready.
Dan, are you ready?
I think I'm game.
Tyler, are you ready?
I was born ready.
Boater, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Then let's do it!
Hit it.
What a week it was. Sports were played, games were traded in, and business was booming. Just to steal something from particular personalities, even though they lost. But let's talk for a second. Not about football. What did you guys do this week? What were you up to?
Well, I was playing the Super Nintendo Classic a good amount. There's a lot of good games on there. Yep. I played Donkey Kong a good amount. He's my boy. Shout out to his shirt, the Harambe shirt. Yeah, that Mario Kart. The 100cc guys are pretty ridiculous.
Did you have to fight anybody to get a super mini a mini SNES?
It was actually surprisingly easy. I went in
They've actually been pretty easy.
and they just had it on the counter. I was like, "What's going on with this bad boy?" So like, we have them.
So what you're saying is you didn't have to whip out the biceps on some old woman like we did have for the mini NESs. You have to like.
I had to keep them sheathed.
It's cold out too.
Dan, were you up to anything this week?
Business as usual.
Business.
Someone's got to man the fort. No, it's been busy. It's been busy up here in Queensbury. Well, I'm happy to announce that we worked out a great deal with Press Enter Productions in Boulder. We got a 12-episode run, fellas.
Woo!
12 episodes, so we're really hoping to have a great run here, and we certainly want your feedback, and we definitely want to make it the best show possible for the next 12 episodes, because we want to keep it going and keep us broadcasting and having a good time and bringing our entertainment from here to you. Otherwise,
I just want to say, when you gave me the shout out there, I turned around to my behind the scenes camera and I made a face, and then I realized it wasn't rolling yet. So unprofessionalism here, guys.
No, but I'm
Only
glad
the second week.
I'm glad we got Boater on board, and I'm looking forward to the next 12 episodes. So we should have a fun time.
Sweet.
Saratoga Comic-Con, we got Insane Games locked in for two booths this spring and in the fall. So we're logged in for both shows there, and we're going to have Samuel Chase, the president of the Saratoga Comic-Con, here next week on the 21st of Sunday. So we should have him here. He can talk to us about a little bit of the Comic-Con, what goes into it, what to expect, maybe have a few special guests that he can announce. So that should be fun. And then, other than that, I'm jamming up to a little Mortal Kombat and a little bit of fun there. And
Tyler, did you, in the last 7 days since we last saw you, did you do anything?
I've done a ton of things. I mean, if we want to start with today, I got to watch one of my favorite players win in the NFL playoffs, but we'll get to that. I mean, if Dan wants to talk about Mortal Kombat, we can talk about Mortal Kombat. I watched his video and how he played, and I critiqued it. I watched it like a professional athlete watches film, and I am not impressed at all, I must say. It's actually very bad how he played. I see his weaknesses, and they're just exposed, and I'm ready to come and strike at his neck with Kung Jin. But other than that, I've been playing Wolfenstein 2, enjoying that, killing some Nazis. That's pretty much it. I mean, business as usual, as Dan says. Man in the fort down here in Florida.
Very nice, very nice.
I didn't realize there's footage of me playing Mortal Kombat out there for you to study.
And unlike all of you plebeians, I have been very busy with mine own endeavors, namely that when I'm not here, I have been at my day job and then sitting with this book, memorizing my lines. Super hard, focusing real nice on them.
So when his face is here, you know why. Because all the brain is going to the book.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, what's the show? When does it come
The
out?
show is called Inspecting Carol here in Saratoga Springs at the Homemade Theater. It will be Friday, February 23rd until Sunday, February 25th, and then a couple other weekends. February 10th, 16th, 17th, 23rd, and 24th at 7:30. February 11th and 18th, and the 25th at 2. Definitely give them a look, give them a like. Mention you saw them here and heard about them here, and my name, because that makes me look good as a Titanic nerd. But other than that, I've been playing a lot of pinball. And an awful lot of Gundam. Oh, yeah. Pinball will never.
How can you play pinball that long?
Isn't it all the same, kind of?
It is not all the same. And you know what? We will have a whole episode based upon that another time.
Dave, did you work on your hips when you were playing pinball?
Surprisingly,
The gyration?
the people that do that, surprisingly, don't get welcome back to arcades. So no, I wasn't practicing bumping and grinding up on that pinball machine.
Baby, grind on me.
Oh, God.
So, you will notice in the background of our set here, we've got some quality Overwatch playing, because this marks the first week of the Overwatch League. So if at any point you are thinking, I don't really want to listen to them talk about the NFL, you can screen into that, and I mean, it'll be a couple days old at this point, but not for you people on Facebook Live, it won't.
Look at this. Like, what is this guy even doing?
Which,
Like,
fortunately,
Team kill.
fortunately
That's good stuff right
transitions
there.
us into our next topic, that each of us here at Insane Games have a varying relationship with Mortal Kombat.
is there aiming?
And also Overwatch. I just want to keep Mortal Kombat fresh.
Kombat
I want
as
to keep
well,
it. I want
but-
to keep that as a through line through the episode. We got some funny things going on with that. I also want to make fun of Mike's sweaty hands.
I want to interrupt for a minute. Mike, tell me what's going on here, because I don't know what's going on.
Well,
Like,
it looks
what's this
like
guy
the
doing
team's
right
that way.
now?
This person is healing, pocketing the diva. They're defending the point. That diva's tearing it up. I don't know what's going on in this little scene. That's for Overwatch League view.
If he'd been following the game, he might have been able to hop in and be like, "Oh, he's exactly what's
I
happening."
mean, I'm just saying it should be
Doing
very
better
clear
at
what the
this
guy's
moment.
doing. Like, what's his? I mean,
This guy's Zenyatta. He's healing, doing damage
Now, when you say
buffs.
healing, does that mean like he's actually like giving him potion, or is he being like the
He
bad
gives them
guy?
like a
I'm
magical
confused.
orb that goes on top of their head.
Okay.
I love that.
Say too much like WWE, I guess.
I love that 5 seconds into talking about Overwatch, Mike threw out so much inter-jargon that we have lost me, him, and I'm guessing at least two of you watching at home.
so okay, Mike. So give me a brief description of how the game is played. There's teams of 6. Okay. There's
Talking about this
healer,
again.
there's a
Objective-
shooter.
Yep, healer. There's DPS, so usually 1 or 2 of those.
Damage per
Tanks.
second. That's people who do a lot of shooting and a lot of wheeling and dealing and gunning.
Yep. And then there's tanks. Those guys are the guys that soak up all the damage, kind of try to get the aggression of the whole team towards them, so the other team can set up different things. There's defense, kind of like DPS, but they are more defensive based. When you're on defense, they want to defend the points.
And how do you win?
You take the points, basically. Sometimes it's a neutral point where
I
both
thought
teams
it's
go
try
for the
not to
same
get
one.
the truck from point A to point B.
That's another game type. There's multiple. But basically, you're still bringing the payload to a point, and you got to get the point. So,
Dan
all
doesn't know
objective
because all that
based.
he does is play Sims. So
oh god.
Whoa. We will discuss baldness in the PC in a minute. So
oh,
about on an average week, how much Overwatch do you play? If you want to do it in a range of hours or a number of games
Do I
played.
really disclose that information?
I mean, you could. It's the perfect place for it.
He has a little posse that he follows for Overwatch.
Lately, I haven't been playing much just because for like a year straight, I was playing every night, maybe like 2 or 3 hours. But lately, it's starting to get a little
what's been
stale.
taking up your time, Mike?
Call of Duty instead lately. Different
A
games,
true
more
shooting
games.
game. There we go.
Just
There
because it's
we
fresh.
go.
But I didn't say Overwatch was dead because I still play it.
It's
sometimes.
Unlike-
wicked
It
dead.
should be dead. It should be buried.
Unlike
close.
Destiny 2, which is dead to many
Undertaker
people.
in the ground and he reaches his arm up. That's Mike playing Overwatch.
I mean,
It's
there's like no
unlike
graphics to it. It's like cartoonish.
I mean,
that's
the
the only reason
Overwatch
I don't
League
like
proves it's
Overwatch,
pretty
because of
popular,
how
though, so.
cartoonish it looks.
It's popular within a few.
sacrifice some graphics for very moist mechanics.
Hey, Tyler, what time is it?
6:42.
No, Tyler, it's high noon. That's actually pretty much the
McCree.
only thing I know about Overwatch.
It's a good thing to know.
Time to stop talking
You gotta
about
hide when you
Overwatch.
hear that.
So, you kind of tipped the hand here on another topic that we wanted to discuss. But Overwatch, the Overwatch League is being played on PC. A majority of us are console gamers. Amongst our midst, we do have one avid PC gamer, and then well, 1.5 if we're counting anybody.
Hey, watch it, Dave.
But
I've
I would
played
like
PC for a
I would
while.
like to call Boater to the stand
Botorious.
to offer a
Voter,
counterpoint.
take a seat.
So, welcome to the show, Boater.
Yay.
Excuse
I've
me.
never been here before.
Welcome to Behind the Counter. So, who would like to talk first? I know that Tyler, you seemed very, well, punchy, I'll say, about this. What do you got? What's with PC gaming?
So my issue with PC gaming is the cost of it. I just don't, I guess I think too much of a business standpoint and the cost of everything. But why would you buy a PC and then, a couple of months down the road you have to upgrade the graphics card, you have to upgrade all this other stuff, when in reality you could just buy a console for a one-time price and they update it for you and you have all this updated stuff on it when they update it and whatnot. I mean, I guess I can see with like the PS4 Pro and like the Slim and the regular one how they upgrade the internal hardware in it. I just think it's too costly to have a PC than just have a console yourself. Like I just as a gamer, I guess I don't play enough where I would just want to buy a PC and keep upgrading it every so often. I just don't see like the point of that.
And actually, in my, I think it makes more sense because you might drop a lot on like a main PC to start out with, and you drop 1,000, 1,200, something like that. But then after that, it's like, oh hey, I need to make an upgrade. Okay, here's $300 for the graphics card, and you're good on that graphics card for another, 5 years or something like that. Oh, I need to upgrade the processor, swap the processor, motherboard, some RAM for another $200 when that comes around. And you're doing a full build on average every console generation. It might cost a little more, but I think that you are getting a lot more for it. And it's interesting to note you brought up the PS4 Pro. Same thing with the Xbox One X. Is that consoles are doing that now? Is that the rate at which they develop and the rate at which they can make the consoles for it, make the hardware for it, is progressing so fast that even within a console generation, which is supposed to be homogenous, is supposed to be totally within itself, that they are going and making upgrades to the hardware, while still keeping being able to play with the older stuff just fine. But they're doing the same thing as PC gamers do, upgrading their hardware piece by piece. They're just kind of coming in and saying, all right, we can upgrade these two pieces. Here's a PS4 Pro. Before they say, all right, we can upgrade everything. Here's the PS5.
Right. So, I mean, how much do games usually cost on PC when you buy them?
About the same. It's 60 as the start, so game cost is about the same, except that there's a lot more free-to-play games on PC than there are on console, and there's a lot more like discount games too. So I'm trying to think. Like free-to-play is things like League of Legends, which is huge. It's another objective team-based thing. It's a completely free-to-play game. And they make their money through microtransactions, which I'm sure that we'll talk about some other time and compare those models.
That's a dirty word, sir.
I should bleep it out.
But you're like, hey, I downloaded. I haven't started playing it yet, but I downloaded Closers, which is a Korean action MMO, and it's a free-to-play game. And cool, I'll grab that, and it's probably microtransaction supported too. But I could just play the game on its own just fine. You see a lot of that. You see more like, oh, hey, I'm going to buy this game that just came out. It's $20. You see episodic gaming a little bit more, though not as much with things like Xbox Live Arcade and being able to download that. But like Bending in the Ink Machine is a free first episode, then it's $6 for each episode after that. I will bring that up whenever I can, just to make things shudder.
I understand the graphics part of PC gaming, but what I don't understand is people that come in the store actually say it's cheaper for PC gaming than it is for console gaming. And I don't understand that, because PC gaming, you need to upgrade your equipment quite often. I mean, when I know last time I bought a video card, for example, it was like a 1 gig video card, and now you go and look at all these new games that come out that are like, I'm talking games that very big games that need a lot of graphics. A lot of them don't need that much graphics, but some do.
Yeah.
And it's like they need 2 gigs now. It's like, and I just bought this like a year ago, and I'm like, I'm already out of date, and I spent, they're like $400, $300, depending on what type you get, maybe 200, depending on what it is. But I don't understand why people think it's cheaper to play PC gaming than it is for console gaming.
That's my point too. I just don't see why someone would go down. I mean, I see why they would go down the PC route, but in my view, I've been a console gamer forever. I played on PC back in the day, like backyard football, but I mean, like...
It's actually a pretty fun game. I think I read a little bit of that.
I see console gaming, I'm just like, well, I only have to pay for the system one time. I don't really care if they come out with an updated version, because I already have the next-gen system. So, I mean, if it has 4K, it has 4K. If I'm missing out on it, that's not a big deal to me. But I just don't understand why... I feel like there's a stigma with PC gaming. Whenever I bring it up to people in the store, they're like, "Oh, PC Master Race. I need to. Oh, you don't like PC? I must. It's like a cult. They want to brainwash me into becoming a PC gamer, and then I get in an argument with them. But I mean,
I won't deny that there are the PC Master Race people. Most PC gamers are just like, okay, you be like that. I don't. No, it's like if I say it, I'm being totally ironic about it. It's. I play console games, I play PC games, whatever. PC games have better backwards compatibility than most consoles do, so I can still play. My sister just gifted me a game on Steam that came out in 1992 that I'm going to go home and play and maybe stream or something like that.
I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
First question. For the PC gamers, is there? I know one game that I would consider getting a PC for, but is there one game that you would recommend for people to get on PC that is either coming out or is already out?
Let's see. That is a. Hold on.
PUBG.
Actually, that's something that you find is that like PUBG just came out on Xbox One, but it's been out on PC and it's beta for a long time.
Right, so, just like Ark. Ark was out too for a long time.
Yeah, so you'll find a lot of games that do the open beta thing and will be on PC for long before it gets to the console. I think the one that I probably play the most is Elite Dangerous, which is on Xbox One, but it's kind of a watered down thing. It's a space simulator where you can do combat, you can do open world trading, a bunch of stuff like that. That's probably the one that I recommend. It's like $30 for the game, or $60 if you get it with the current season pass. And then it's like $30 for each season that might last for a couple years of content. The other PC game I play is American Truck Simulator.
It actually does look pretty good.
We sell so many copies of Farm Simulator every year. So everyone says like, oh my god, that sounds so stupid. There are people out there, they play it, and you are one of them.
Euro Truck Sim 2 came out, and everyone was like, this is actually pretty good. I'm not so sure about this, guys.
What about Star Citizen? That game looks sick.
Wow, Star Citizen looks so cool, and then you play it and you realize, oh, this is actually kind of boring. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking No Man's Sky.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Whoa!
You run out of things to do.
My heart!
Fast.
No Man's Sky. It was a poor man's Star Citizen.
Meanwhile, Star Citizen it's still in beta, and I was watching someone play it a couple weeks ago, and it crashed like 3 times during a 2-hour stream. He at one point needed to kill the stream and restart his computer because it screwed him up. It's like, it looks cool, it looks very pretty, and it does compete with Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky there, but they each do kind of have their different objectives within that space sim thing. My personal preference is Elite Dangerous, but everyone can kind of do whatever. One more thing I'll say on this really quick, as long as I'm on Elite Dangerous, is that I have the joystick and the throttle controller that I can get. I got $40 on that, whereas that kind of stuff is very hard to find for consoles, to get extra controllers like that.
Yes.
Unless you get whatever that Steel Battalion, where you got the whole console.
God, that thing is sweet.
Boder, my other question is when do you think that people online will be able to play console versus PC? Or do you think they just should not do that at all?
It's already happening in Rocket League.
Right.
That's true, that is
PC
true.
and PS4 are able to crossplay. I played Portal 2 with someone who was on PS4. It can be done. One thing that you'll never find it on something like Overwatch, because something that needs that much precision, a mouse will always beat a gamepad in people of equal skill on their respective system. Someone who's better skilled with a gamepad versus someone who's not that good with a mouse, yeah, they'll win, but there's a lot more precision in that kind of thing. And that makes it hard to do really precise competitive online things. But I think stuff where there's not that much precision, again, Rocket League needs precision, but not nearly as much. I think that you'll see it more there.
I'm surprised Call of Duty isn't integrated.
And it depends also on the publisher, on the system. Like Microsoft has started to has had games come out on both, but I don't think they've done crossplay yet, which is kind of funny.
Maybe for Rocket League.
I don't know. The one thing that's a big thing is that Microsoft isn't going to want crossplay with PlayStation. Yeah. That's a big hang-up. So you can't get everyone on the same servers. It's got to, some games are cross-playing this, some are like that. So I think the big thing in the way isn't the technology, it's the big companies in charge.
They want to do it, yeah. Like Sony doesn't want to be with Microsoft and vice versa.
Exactly, yeah.
It's true.
And nary shall the two meet.
Well, I mean, Dave, what do you? I mean,
anything from that side of the table. Anything.
have never been much of a PC gamer. I've never been much a PC player. It has to do more with I like the idea of I purchase a PlayStation, it does A, B, C, and D. It'll do A, B, C, and D until the next PlayStation comes out, and it adds E, F, and G, and sometimes H.
And probably takes away A, B, and C.
Yes, which I'm fine with, because then I have, this system that does that and this system that does that. Yes, it does lead into miles and miles of cable and hundreds of piles of things, but for someone that wants a simpler plug-in-and-play experience, consoles do it better for me than would a PC, because with a PC, you have to, PC, there's more things that are going to go wrong that you have to almost fix on your own, rather than when my PlayStation, if it blows up, or if my Xbox blows up.
Please, sir, I would like another. Yeah.
It's on, Microsoft, or it's on Sony.
There's a lot more tech literacy needed in higher end of PC gaming.
Yes,
that is true about the warrant. Yeah.
And at one point, just for a thing, I as a working person, I am able to budget, and I can hit, I can buy a console every 4 to 6 years. That's where my budget's at. It is not at a point where I can custom build a PC to where I would want it to play the games that I would like to on PC. Again, I have nothing wrong with PC. The people who like vibrate and like roll their eyes back and start screaming the hymns, the hymnals of the PC master race, that does freak me out and very much turn me off against PC. But you'll find those same people for consoles who are wearing the Microsoft T-shirts, the PlayStation T-shirts,
someone that every single piece of apparel they have has the X, the circle, the triangle, the square.
Yes, that's what they're
That'd
all
be a little
about.
extreme.
Everyone's got to have their thing, and some people's. Well, I'm not going to poke fun at people because I'm my own nerdy stuff, but
every environment, and whether it's a gaming environment or like a phone operating system, there's always going to be people who are devoted to one at the expense of others.
Yep.
Like I'm devoted to Xbox and PC. It's kind of how I split. We own a few PlayStations. I've played a couple games. It's just I prefer, if I'm holding a gamepad, I personally prefer it, and that's fine. But I'm not going to be like, PlayStation sucks because I personally don't like the gamepad.
Well, they do suck.
Oh.
Take it easy.
I mean,
That
come on.
sounds like a topic for another
I'm
time.
ready to RKO your ass right now, boy.
All about Xbox. Good call,
You
brother.
just worry about Mortal Kombat, okay?
Don't even get
One
me
battle
started
at a time.
on
You can't
Mortal
handle
Kombat.
multiple
You're
battles.
awful at Mortal Kombat.
Not really.
Watching
So-
you is just like, I don't even know. You're awful. You do the same moves over and over again. I mean, we can get back into this. You're just awful.
Well, you started it earlier.
How do I start it?
You
I'm
had to
finishing
bring it up, didn't you?
It's when I finish you, and I put the staff through your head. It's
Just
arrow.
after your head.
Let's
Right
keep this,
here.
let's keep this going.
Tyler, you're jumping the
What?
gun here. You're way too amped up with this.
He's getting me heated.
So, Mike, before we roll away from this topic totally and it falls out, PC, do you do that? Do you play it? Do you own one?
I just have a laptop. I do a little bit of gaming on it. I played Diablo 3. I messed around with little League of Legends, little Path of Exile. It's way outdated
Whoa.
now. I got that laptop like 6 years ago, so it's not working how
At
I
least
want
you
it.
don't
6
play
years
Nerd.
That's
It was
the
good
point.
at the time, though.
A laptop is like a console. Well, this isn't good anymore. I need another.
Pretty much, that's where I'm at.
Yes.
But I don't have anything against it. If I had a better one, I'd probably play it. My brother is super into PC games, so he's always trying to get me into it, and I'm always trying to get him to get on the Xbox. It goes back and forth. But
Do you guys passive aggressively buy each other gifts? Like, oh, a headset for your computer. here's
done
some
some of that.
thumbstick pads for your Xbox One controller.
I was thinking about buying him Destiny 2, but then I don't even play that anymore. So.
That game dried up and blew away like some sort of husk. So before Tyler jumps through that screen and strangles Dan, Dan, I think you captured some video of something that we brought up last week and people were interested in. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
So we have a little bit of a Mortal Kombat battle going on here. It can go either way. It's very heated. There's a few people that might have left this week a little upset. For example, there was Tom and I who got on the sticks together, and that didn't go that well for Tom.
I witnessed it.
And
Tom's awful at Mortal Kombat, might I add.
quite the beatdown. That's now 2-0.
Lest we lambast those who can't defend themselves, please.
Unless it's Jeremy.
He can say whatever he wants. Tom's horrendous. He's probably the worst Mortal Kombat player in the store.
And as we discussed, Mike
Oh
is
my God.
obviously the best Mortal Kombat player at the store, and a guy by the name of Jeremy, who worked here for quite a while. Good friend of the store.
And show it for people on Facebook Live. They may not.
I don't even know if we referenced that belt because no one even comes close to taking it away from Mike. It's like one of those, we just give it to Mike so he can have it, and it's just one of
I'll
those,
take it.
no one's ever going to take it from him. But we kind of, I don't know if we set Jeremy up for a match and he didn't know he was in, or...
Yeah, he wasn't really aware, but he should have known when
I think he kind of knew. But Mike and Jeremy went at it with each other, so let's take a look at that real quick.
Showdown.
God. So before we get into the actual match itself, did anyone see Mike's hands on that controller during that entire match, as we talked about last week? The
White knuckle in it?
the whatever, as many buttons we possibly can.
Mike, is that where you insert pills and automobiles? Wet, 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 wet.
Wet.
So, as usual, Mike did beat down Jeremy, so we have that.
It was easy.
But
Really easy.
I don't know, 2 female wrestlers or 2 female fighters. I mean, I believe Mortal
alter
Kombat, the
egos.
females are better than the males. I don't know. Do you feel that way? I feel like they're a little bit better.
I just don't know how to use the females in that game, I guess.
No, you
I'm
just
more of a-
know one player that
Kung
knows
Fu
one
dude.
move.
Oh, God.
Oh, coming from you!
I do more than one move.
I can use literally any person on that and still whoop your ass, boy.
Remember,
Take you to the
folks,
shed,
the safe
like Old
number,
Yeller.
the safe number of combos in any fighting game is 5. You learn 5 moves. 5.
And
so
I
that you
know
never have to
5.
repeat one.
I know the kick, I know the freeze, I know the hammer, I know I know all of them.
You're letting him know your
You
moves.
sound like Squidward.
Gotta keep that on the
I
side.
know
spilling
the
them away.
freeze, I know the hammer.
What?
All that matters, David, is you're getting the staff to the head. I'm gonna crack you in the head with the staff from Kung Jin, boy.
Now, because we know Jeremy watches, Mike, any words of advice for Jeremy, the young Padawan?
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Well, there you have it. There you
Get
have
big,
it.
boy.
Yikes.
So, did you folks like the clip of Mike white knuckling that controller and then delivering the beatdown? Have you any epic stories of conquest in such fighting games or other such games? Do you also ruin a perfectly good controller and then force others to unfortunately have to touch it after you're finished? Mike! That man is just the worst
I have the
offender
courtesy
when it comes to
to use paper
You do
towels
it
after.
now. You do it now. But there were
Whenever
times.
you're around Mike, you have to have a Clorox wipe in your back pocket to wipe it off.
There were dark times where there were not immediately available paper towels and things had to keep rolling in games. And so you just had to, using your own
Next
shirt.
time we
Basking in
get
my
a video of
wetness.
Mike, we need to get a close-up on the camera of what the controller looks like after he plays with it. Just see the sweat
It
dripping
would be
off of it.
steaming.
It's all the sweat coming down
A before and after shot of that.
with a whole roll of paper towels to clean them up.
Also, who do
Well,
you think would win
if you
between
use
Dan
Brawny,
and
you only have
Tyler?
to use one. That's
Oh,
our plug
Your
right there
day
with
of
Brawny.
judgment is coming, my friend. You're going to go down, and you're going to go down deep.
All you do is talk.
No, I don't
you're just
talk.
a
Not
talker.
really.
You can't walk the walk. You've never beat me. You've never beat me.
Have I beat him?
I think I might have seen it. There
Yeah.
might have been some
It's
salt.
been like 2 years.
2 years? We
That's
haven't
been a long
played in
time.
a year.
It's been a long time.
Exactly. It's been like 2 years.
Been about a year, and we've only had maybe
been
about
about 2
5. First of all, we only had about
We've
maybe.
had about 20 matchups, and
No,
every
we have
matchup
not.
ends with you almost threatening to break a controller. So
Well, from you. I mean, you're the one that.
from you.
For you.
I mean, we can roll the clip from last week of me saying verbatim what you said. You're lucky the silly controller, I f***ing smash it. That's exactly what you said. And that's what you're going to say when I come at you, too. When I come up to New York, you're done. You're done. It's not even going to be a matchup.
That
You're
brings
a
up.
piss poor competitor, just like you're a piss poor
Not
Caroline.
really.
All these.
You want to get into that too?
Let's get into it.
You want to get into that one?
Let's get into it.
You
I got four.
know, you know
You don't.
how to play with one player in Mortal Kombat that knows
I got
one
four.
move.
You can pick my player. Pick my player. I don't care.
So you tell me I can pick
Don't make me-
anybody, and you're gonna beat me with
Pick
any
Kodo
other
Khan.
player?
I'll
Checks
pick
your
Kodo
cheeks
Khan.
can't cash, Tyler.
Yeah, I know.
So set your calendars,
It's
get your
coming.
checkbooks, and hedge your bets.
It's
the
Judgment
boss,
Day when I'm coming for you.
the
It's
boss
coming.
versus
Judgment Day.
the kid.
And then you're
soon
gonna have to shave your head when I do it.
At
That's the
an
bet.
insane
You
games
lose, you shave your head.
near you. But
I would like to see that as well.
That brings up a very good question. Career-wise, I know in my gaming career, out of pure frustration, out of just malice for a game I was playing, I have broken not one, not two, but 3 PlayStation 2 controllers. I don't count any of the Mad Catz controllers I've broken because it's like opening a box with just a rock and joysticks taped to it, so it doesn't count. But
It breaks on its own.
Yeah, it does. It starts broken. Mike, how many controllers have you broken in your video gaming career?
Oh, it's been a while since I started buying them for myself, but other than that, I used to punch a couple Xbox controllers, but not too many. Maybe one or two.
Have you broken any? Like to the point where you have it, you're using it, you're
Mike's broken
using
them from moisture.
One.
You're gonna say one, so one Xbox.
I went to punch it and I missed and I hit the stick and it snapped off.
What controller was that?
360 controller.
Oh, I was gonna say if you broke a stick off a Duke, geez, that's a punch.
Okay, so we
love
all
the
have a
Duke.
controller story.
But how many controllers have you broken, Dan, career-wise? No, I know this is going all the way back.
At least 4 in original Halo.
4
Because
Dukes?
you were bad at it?
I had a controller that went through about 4 slams. That's shout out to the Airflow. I don't know if you remember those. The Airflow controllers. You actually hit it and actually kept your hands cool.
That might
Love
be the
that
answer to
controller.
my problems.
And love that
Mike
controller.
tried that, but too much moisture was coming on and just dropped the controller.
And then I've been pretty good with Xbox One, but I went through at least 4 or 5 original Xbox controllers. At least.
Tyler, how many controllers have you broken career-wise?
I haven't broken a controller since the 360. I broke one playing 2K because my game froze, and it was like I had like 50 points in my career, so I threw it against the wall and it broke. When I was really young, though, speaking of Mad Catz, I used to get those all the time because I would break my controller. So I was playing Madden one time, and I got mad, and I just smashed it on the ground like 6 times, and it just like shattered. And I broken like at least 10 Mad Catz controllers on PS2.
Again, those don't really count. Boater, how many controllers have you broken?
Like out of frustration or something, I don't think any. There's been some that like I've used so much and I wind up the cable and I make a short in the cable on the end because I was winding it too tight. And then just from overuse, I've probably killed 3 or 4 computer mice. Just like, oh, it doesn't click anymore. Or, oh no, it clicks and it sticks forever. Like just from...
It reached its 50,000 clicks.
And I think spilling balls on a keyboard once. That it never quite recovered from that. Energy
What'd
drink.
you okay.
BAWLS.
Okay, I was like, what?
I was about to say, do we need to just edit that part?
It's a delicious energy drink that is far too expensive for me to actually buy a crate from Amazon.
I will say a funny story though.
Yeah.
Back in my days of playing video games when they were going through high school was the original Xbox came out with Halo 1.
Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Halo 1 came out, and it was a game that everyone for Xbox kind of knew you needed to get if you bought an Xbox, but no one really knew how big it was going to be in the future. And but back then they didn't have Xbox Live, not yet. It was actually Xbox Connect.
Yes.
And long story, you had to get on the internet and log it in. You know, you had to get like a dashboard, and that's how you connected people online.
Parties.
Oh,
But-
yeah, so many LAN parties.
But back in the day, LAN party was the only way of getting local LAN party was really the only way of getting a bunch of people to play on time with no lag, anything like that. And I remember I used to have like 16 people that would come over and play. People would just be walking by my
God.
dad with TVs in their hands.
I did a 16-person Halo 1 LAN party once, and it was like the best thing ever.
Oh, it was great. We did a bunch of them. We would do 16 people, rockets, no shield, shotguns, no shield, 8v8, capture the flag on Blood Gulch. But to get to the story, we were doing 8v8, and I think it was rockets, no shields, and I probably missed about 8 people in a row, and I was getting mad. And I took the controller, and I slammed it on the ground, and it bounced up behind the TV, hit the surround sound speaker, the cord, so the surround sound speaker went down with it, knocked out the internet cords, and the whole game went out. I would have been beat up and thrown outside, but it was my house, so that wasn't going to happen. But it was, back those games were pretty intense, and there's a few other moments, a broken pool stick, and
What about the fridge? Is there a dent in there?
maybe me beating up Tom once.
How many of you had an N64?
I actually did.
Ooh, I did.
Did you have Mario Party?
Hell yeah.
I did not
Hell yeah.
actually, but
Okay, so you've broken N64 controllers from Mario Party, right? You've messed up analog sticks.
Kart. No, on Mario Kart, I used to do that all the time with the analog stick. That would go so hard.
I don't know, like, if you guys are still getting N64 controllers traded in, and you're like, boop, boop, sorry, can't take it. Someone played Mario Party on it.
yeah, the stick doesn't.
Every
Well,
so
those are
often.
actually really easy to
Every
fix.
so often. But for those of you who are not in the know, yonder time and ago, let's call it the Stone Ages of gaming now, as compared to what the Stone Age of gaming actually is, Pong. But people used to actually have to back up their words because they were sitting in a room together and both of them were holding controllers. Nowadays, everyone has their shields of Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus to hide behind and send cheap messages to each other like, "You were the worst, and I hate you, send!" And now they get to hide behind their words and never have to back it up because you can just block someone. But then you'd have to go down the street, you'd walk down to your friend's house, you'd... "Heard you were talking smack about my Halo game!" And you would drag them to your house, or you'd push right through the door and be like, "Excuse me, Mrs. So-and-so." And like you'd walk straight into their living room, you'd plug your controller in, and then you would have it out right then and there. So fortune smiles upon the mouthier nowadays rather than back then, because there was only one conversation in the lunchroom back then. It wasn't who could beat who, but who received the smacketh down.
Dave, do you remember the times when did you ever have a PS2?
Yes.
Do you remember the times when you would just be like, "Yo, you want to play this game?" and you just put your memory card right in the little slot, and then you go over to your friend's house and pop that in? And that was the best. I used to do that all the time.
The good multi-taps had the multi-card, could have up to 4 to 6 memory cards in it. Much praises to Blockbuster for making a third-party one that was way cheaper and easier to get. And I mean, it broke all the time because that cable was like gangly. But
Rest in peace, Blockbuster.
Exactly. Well, there's still one.
Rest in power.
There's still one
Shout out to
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
It's one of the funnier Twitter accounts I follow, at Lone Blockbuster.
So, Tyler, you seemed that you wanted to talk about something. You got really excited about something that's right in my wheelhouse as well. Something that can be tied into comics. It's a big cinematic universe. It's got a lot of things going on to it. Although this is not a movie, is it? What is it you want to talk about?
It's like a 6 episodic film / series, I guess. But basically, what they announced this past week was they're coming out with a new Venom movie. So basically, the point of view of Eddie Brock and how he plays Venom as the villain. Tom Hardy's gonna be the main character in that as Eddie Brock. And if any of you have watched Batman, I mean, as him with being Bane, that was just like one of my favorite villains. Second behind, obviously, Heath Ledger played the performance of his life. Rest in peace. But I'm super excited to see Tom Hardy play Venom, because Venom's by far my favorite villain character, and just the I don't know, he's just very complex, and it's going to be fun to watch.
I'm not sure I'm a Tom Hardy fan.
That's just ridiculous.
I'm not.
That's just ridiculous.
That's because you didn't like him in The Revenant, huh?
That movie was so
Let's
moist.
not get started on The Revenant.
Dude, actually, you're absolutely right. He was in that movie. You not want to get going on that?
That was a great
I
film.
wasn't even thinking of that movie. But, let's go down that road. Now you just proved my point even more.
I was talking about this the other day, actually. You said that was an awful movie.
Yeah.
And we went with my girlfriend, and she said the same exact thing. And I just don't understand how it's an awful movie.
Because the guy got an
Oscars
Oscars for walking through the woods. I mean, I'll go up down the road and I'll walk through the woods and not say a word, and I can win an award by doing that?
Obviously, you don't understand the dialogue between those 2 points.
I understand the movie. I'm just saying he barely said a word. He walked through the woods. He slept inside of a bear, and that's all that happened.
I think we're forgetting that he almost got raped by a
Matt
bear.
Damon, I mean...
I mean, I forgot that Tom Hardy's in that movie. Now you just proved my point even more.
Oh God.
There was
He was
much
great in that
hype
movie
about
too.
that.
I don't get excited when I hear Tom Hardy. I think I don't dislike him. I'm just not a big, like, oh God, Tom Hardy is so great. I just don't feel like he's that.
Yeah, I mean,
wow, cool.
like I like the stuff. He was Fury Road, right? Mad Max Fury
Yes,
Road. That was
he
him.
was.
Yeah,
He was
and
the main character
and I
in Mad
enjoyed
Max
that. I enjoy the stuff that I've seen him in that I recognize. Oh, that's Tom Hardy. But I
What
don't,
about
like,
what
go out
about
of my
Bane?
way
Boulder?
to find
Did you
stuff
like
that
him
he's
as
in.
Bane?
Sorry.
Did you like him as Bane?
Yeah, I enjoyed
I
that
thought
too.
he was
So,
good at
like,
Bane.
He's a great villain, and he's gonna be an even better villain as Venom. Not only because I'm biased on Venom, but Venom's like one of the sickest characters that you could see
I
as
guess
a villain.
I just don't like when people say Tom Hardy. They go, "Oh, Tom Hardy's in it!" Like it's one big.
Have you ever seen The Warrior with Tom Hardy?
What?
The Warrior with Tom Hardy when he's the UFC fighter almost, but it's like low grade, it's like beginning MMA.
I haven't seen
His
that.
traps in that movie is what I go after when I go to the gym. I look for workouts that Tom Hardy did in that movie to get traps like him. You can't even see his neck. It's unreal. So his training regimen to be Venom is going to be pretty sick too. Just like it was with Bane.
Now, I'm excited for a Venom series like that, and I'm excited to have a Tom Hardy character because the last time we saw a symbiote, which is what Venom is in the Marvel Universe, by the way, he was being played by that guy from that 70s show. And he
Don't even say it. We don't even have to
remember
discuss
that.
We have to, because that's the last. When people type in Venom, that's what's going to come up. And
It's
you
so
should.
sad. I saw that the other day when I saw Venom. I saw Topher. What is it?
Topher Grace.
And I was just like shake my head on that because
He was.
how could you have a guy go from that 70s show to playing one of the cruelest villains that there is? I just can't see
A
it.
very simple thing, because the network watched Sam Raimi make 2 Spider-Man movies, and they looked at the third one and they're like, we want Venom in there. And he was like, but I didn't write a movie for Venom to be in there. Whoever had written it, if he didn't write it. He was like, I don't have a vision for Venom in this movie. And they're like, no, he'll go right here. This will be good. Venom right there. Look at him. Everyone's like, so excited to have Venom. And it was awful. Just awful.
Well, I
You know
think one
what
thing that I
else is
like
awful?
is that like superhero movies around that time, there were some stinkers, but they're doing a good job turning it around now. And I'm gonna point to Daredevil. It was a stinker of a movie.
Whoa, Ben
It was-
Affleck.
That doesn't make the movie good. It was still a bad movie.
I think Daredevil in general is kind of.
I mean, or at best, it was merely okay. And then the Netflix series was awesome. So I think it's really promising that so maybe it was a bad impression of that back there, but there's so
Well, I
much that
think
can be done now.
It's also that they're taking characters that not to say, for example, that Spider-Man, Captain America, Batman, Superman don't have a little more depth to them, but taking a character like a Daredevil who people may not on the surface be able to immediately relate to, Venom, an alien from a planet that infects people, and something about bells and light and things that require a little more finessing. I'm happy that they're getting these treatments in these things. Dan's shaking his head, and I would love to know why, but...
No, who won our fantasy football league? A comment on our thing.
Speaking of superheroes, they actually just pushed up the date for Deadpool 2 as well.
Did they?
Ryan Reynolds confirmed it on his Instagram this week. It was supposed to release in June. Now it's May 18th, so mark that on your calendars.
That's weird. You usually see films being pushed back. Being pushed up is, number one, exciting because it means that they're confident. Number two means, are they going to be too rushed?
Well, I would think at this point, especially with that film, because they did such a good job of will they, won't they, is there going to be a Deadpool 2, are we not going to get a Deadpool 2, is Cable going to be in Deadpool 2? Because you have pictures of him, but that doesn't mean it's not going to hit the cutting room floor. But I'm excited for Deadpool 2. I also hope, when is it coming out?
May 18th.
Man, I was hoping they'd do what they did with it last time, where some people were showing the special cut trailers of it to be like, it's a romance, honey, or like so and so, and bringing them to the movie as if it was a romance.
Oh, maybe it'll be a Mother's Day movie this time around.
But a little bit of a subject here. I feel like, because I'm a big X-Men fan, probably my favorite franchise out of any of them, X-Men.
Doesn't Disney now have that?
They bought I'm
20th
curious
Century
to find
Fox?
out what happens with that. I don't know if Disney because Fox has done a pretty good job. I mean, they have Bryan Singer in the room that does all of them. I felt like they've done a good job. Either way, I mean...
Oh, okay, you say that. To which I respond, Logan.
No.
They haven't universally done a good job, but
Yes.
they put out some gems.
They have put out some gems, but when you find that quarter you ate 3 weeks ago in a turd, it doesn't mean that you've made profit.
But I find that right now that are they doing too many Marvel movies? Is there going to come a point where they've all exploded? Now it's there's 8 movies coming out in 2018 that are Marvel related superhero movies, and I feel like every actor these days they want to be known for being a superhero, rather it's DC Comics.
Are you just jealous that they haven't come out with a Cyclops movie yet?
No. I just feel like I think they're doing too many.
I want to see more Cyclops.
I feel like they're doing too many superhero movies.
Now-
Like DC, Marvel. It's not just Marvel. DC's in there too. I mean, now Hulu has their own series. Netflix has
Everybody
their own
is a hero,
series.
Dan. Everybody.
But lest we forget that superhero movies were a thing yonder time and ago. You had quality Batman films getting rolled out, at least in my opinion. The Tim Burton ones. Don't even get me started. Bat nipples.
God, those are great.
But you had those. But
I
then
could have played Penguin, Dave.
But the thing
Shout
is,
out to
Dave, is
Arnold.
that those aren't those weren't mainstream at the time.
That's
Did they
true.
have big appeal? Yes.
But
Are they coming out with 7 of them a year? Also, no, back in the 90s.
But they didn't do that because that wasn't really what happened in the theater season. Theaters also didn't have as many movies, and I can back that with just fact. They didn't have as many movies in the cinema as they do today because the technology is available, because the arts are being funded, and things like that. It's making money, and so people are doing it. But for those of you at home on Facebook Live and here who are watching, I want you not to watch and not to Google, but to know the name Howard the Duck. Killed, murdered, massacred, demolished the superhero movie franchisees until Iron Man came out, and then it turned around and became profitable again. Batman Begins, yes, that one as well, but I would say Iron Man really did kind of bust open the doors
What
for
the
the
heck,
mainstream.
Howard the Duck?
Don't do it. Don't look it up. But I'm just telling you,
It got a 15% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It did, because it's awful. It's all of the bad, and they should feel bad about it.
I mean,
But-
they're bringing out. I mean, the
Passionate on this.
superhero movies right now are bringing out record numbers in the box office.
Yes.
I mean, there are people that are going and watching these movies, and it makes me wonder. Okay, in 2 years, are we all going to be so superheroed out? Every superhero has been done. There's no more of them, or are we going to continue?
And then they're going to come out with the origin of the superhero like they always do. They love doing origins now. I mean, they do that in CW like every year. They release a new origin story, so...
Well, first, I like that they're starting to move away from origin stories. 2, people are already starting to get fatigued from superhero movies. I know a lot of people that are like, yeah, I'm over them, I'm done. And I think once that hits a critical mass, because I think every year now more and more people are going to be like, oh, it's another formulaic Marvel movie. Oh, it's DC trying to do a formulaic Marvel movie. Whatever. I think that it's going to get to that point pretty soon where people are just kind of oversaturated and just kind of done.
Speaking of superheroes,
What?
I need to say one thing. Speaking of superheroes,
Yeah.
I would like to say, sup, Gal Gadot, what's up? Saw her the other day, or a couple weeks ago, at the Comic-Con. I know you saw me, the short guy in the corner, wheeling some boxes.
It's actually true. I passed her once,
Just hit me up. Hit me up, Gal.
and Henry Cavill.
Married.
So what you're saying is that you're giving a shout out to her because you passed her in a hallway at a convention.
Twice. I passed her twice.
Okay.
Two times.
Two
Not one
times.
time, but
A two-time.
I wonder if she's watching our podcast right now.
she probably isn't. She's like,
probably
wow, that
rather
guy with the biceps.
So I love that. I'm hoping that she gets back to you. And,
I follow her on Instagram, so we're practically married. I mean,
if you're out there, give us a sign, send us a Facebook message, or if you just want to call the store so there's no evidence that we could then substantiate.
Or Dave, she can just slide right into the DMs. They're open.
Okay, Dave, gotta do a plug real quick.
You absolutely can.
Before we move on to the next segment, I just want to make sure to remind you that we have Samuel Chase, president of the Saratoga Comic-Con, on our show next week. We're going to talk to him about the Comic-Cons. That show is April 7th and 8th right in the Saratoga City Center. And also make sure you follow us, comment, questions, anything. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Behind the Counter. Also our Facebook page, Insane Games NY for New York and Insane Games FL for Florida. Maybe one day we'll have a little competition between you and I, between New York and Florida.
Okay, they can subscribe, then unsubscribe, then resubscribe, and then just keep doing it, just so they can just keep subscribing to us. If you get bored.
Either way, we need to know comments, feedback, so make sure you either on Facebook or YouTube, and I believe next week we'll have an official Twitch account. I think right now we're just trying to figure out the proper name because Behind the Counter is taken. So we need
We're coming after them for copyright.
So we need to get that. So, but either way, those are my plugs. Back to you, Dave.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take a quick and a short little break, but we will be right back, and we're going to discuss whose playoff picks came to roost, coaching staffs. We've got some extra little content for you, and also what's in your disc tray coming at you very soon. And we're back here behind the counter in Queensbury, New York. It's still below freezing, but not cold enough to snow. Tyler, how's the weather up there?
Down, you mean?
Whatever. I'm looking up at you in the video.
Temperature's about 50 degrees. Pretty cold today, not gonna lie.
Tyler, that's the only time people will say, how's the weather up there to you? Bam! I finally get one. So, we are here to talk about our predictions we did last week coming to roost. All of us had the Pats winning over the Titans, so that's kind of a wash. Nobody gets any kudos for that, except that I kind of called it.
I got into a lot of fights on Facebook saying, all my Titan fan friends, it is going to be a sad, sad day.
It was. I feel bad for Marcus Mariota. I was hoping he'd do well.
Rest in peace, Maserati.
I was hoping he'd do well, but it is see you later, my friend.
He's dead to me.
The bus is warming.
After fantasy. Completely dead.
Warm the bus up.
The other game, I had the Falcons. Tyler, who did you have? The Falcons?
I had the Falcons as well.
Dan, you didn't seem
I didn't
have an opinion either way because you didn't care about that game. Mike.
Steelers.
Mike, you had who again?
Which one is it?
Who did you have?
These guys.
I had the Falcons. He had the Falcons. He didn't care about this game.
Yes.
And you had who now?
Saint Nick and the Eagles. Well.
So
I said he was wet, and it was true. So.
But did they seem to win in spite of him?
No, they did.
Of course not.
That's the issue.
Of course not.
He didn't even do anything.
He made sure the boat didn't sink, and that's all he needs to do.
I'll give you this. He played a very good game, but he wasn't the game changer. That defense just destroyed the Falcons' offense. It wasn't even a fight. It was ridiculous. The Eagles were blocking for the ball. They had good coverage, John Julio when it mattered, and they stopped the run. I mean, but Nick Foles didn't really do much. I mean, he had a couple of nice passes, but that's it.
I feel like just the more that I was saying, though, is that the Falcons were going to choke, and
they did.
Lo and behold.
As usual, Matt Ryan choked at the end there. So I almost want to say that was actually, I think, all Matt Ryan's fault there.
I agree. Matt Ryan has Julio Jones, the best wide receiver in the NFL, by far. I don't care. You can at me on Twitter all you want. Julio Jones is the best wide receiver in the NFL, and he can't get the ball to him in the red zone. That is just horrendous. Can that guy. Get him out of there.
Oh, I mean, running back, too. They have one of the best running backs in the league. You can't give it to him?
They have Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman was running better than Devontae Freeman last night. And it was just I don't know. The
There's-
Eagles have a good defense. though, I
There's too
can't
much.
lie.
There's too much talent in that team not to be winning, and for them not to win, that means they really got to analyze what the problem is. I think the problem is Matt Ryan.
I think the problem is they just can't not choke. I
Yeah.
mean,
It goes back to
They
Matt. I
might.
think Matt Ryan chokes. And,
They need to at halftime. They need to have some Alka-Seltzer. They need to do some shakeouts. They really need to rest it. So the other game that is now done and in the record books. Tyler had the Jaguars. Dan had the Jaguars. Mike had the Jaguars. I, on the other hand, had Big Ben and the Steelers.
what a
So,
shame.
as I said before,
wow.
as I said before, the Super Bowl champion is coming out of that game.
Really?
So now I'm back. I am fully behind Jacksonville.
That's not
I
gonna
thought
happen.
Jacksonville was going to beat the Steelers. However, I did think if Steelers did happen to win, they were going to make their way all the way through. But I think Jacksonville's going to go in. Tough game against New England. But I think they'll win. And it's right on from there.
Here's my
Tom
problem.
Brady.
I have to now agree with Dan on that. That's the issue. I am all on the Jacksonville bandwagon. Jacksonville all the way. Blake frickin' Bortles, baby. I
Blake
like
Bald
Let's go.
Bortles!
I feel a rant coming here.
Any of the haters out there, I got all this flack for
There we go.
picking Blake Bortles. Let's think about this. Did you watch the game today? Fourth quarter, poised in the pocket, got first downs every third down. He was amazing today. He was great. Defense was even better. Jalen Ramsey, I mean, yeah, there was a couple times where they let up big plays, but Blake Bortles took that game and shoved it down Big Ben's throat, and now Jacksonville's going to beat the Patriots. Guaranteed.
I think it's be a close game. But I think they beat Patriots.
I'm going to have to go against you guys. I think Tom Brady's going to show him who's
Go
daddy.
against me, Blake Bortles. Mike. This is what happens.
Tom Brady.
Dave, the
Daddy.
spotlight's on you. Who you picking?
The Jaguars beat the Bills, and we managed to hold them. The Bills faithful, the Bills Mafia, managed to will that team to hold the Jaguars to 15 points, 10 points, 10 points. I'm confusing my scores now. And then Big Ben and the Steelers Nation couldn't wave their towels hard enough to get him to keep the score down. I genuinely want to believe that Bill Belichick will be pulling that sweater closed on his head, walking into the locker room, and going, next year it'll be 8 playoffs in a row.
Here's the problem, Dave. Here's the problem with me. My heart, it just says go with Jacksonville, but my brain's like, you stupid idiot. The Patriots are going to destroy them. I'm already on the boat. I can't get off. Let's go with Jacksonville.
But I think the problem that occurred in this afternoon's game is the Steelers walked in all week not worrying about Jacksonville. It's
Amen.
we've been waiting to go play New England. We've been waiting. This has been the game we've been waiting for. Well, first off, you gotta get by Jacksonville first. So why are we talking about New England? And they walked
It's
in
so
there.
sad. This is so sad. I agree with everything you're saying. I think I brainwashed you.
But I also think, here comes the interesting question. When we target on Steelers for a minute, what does Big Ben do? Is he done? Do you think he has another year left?
I think
No, Dan, he just confirmed he's coming back for 2018, actually. Adam
okay.
Schefter reported.
There you go. Then I guess that answers that question.
Shefty.
Because that team could very easily have fallen apart after if he left, and they got
Yeah,
Bell.
but Le'Veon Bell could still leave.
Bell, Antonio Brown could very well go out somewhere else. I mean, Martavis Bryant. I mean, they didn't have a good
Antonio
start of the
Brown's
year.
got a giant contract. He's not going anywhere. But Le'Veon Bell, though, could. That's a possibility.
I mean,
So
And
Tyler-
Shazier, he's just starting to walk. I mean, they don't know when he's coming back either.
Yep.
That is crazy.
So Tyler, what's the score right now of the last?
Actually, there's a touchdown. Alvin Kamara, the GOAT,
Your boy.
my favorite player in the NFC, just scored 21-20 Saints. Let's go.
So the game is right
Nail-biter.
now within a point. Who has the ball?
The Vikings are about to get the ball back. I'm waiting on how much time is left. I was too excited when Alvin Kamara scored. I mean,
what quarter?
He's
Is it
like
fourth quarter?
Yeah, it's fourth quarter. It's fourth
yeah,
quarter,
it's
and
fourth
it's
quarter.
less than 10 minutes.
There's under 4 minutes left. Under 4 minutes.
So, Tyler, you have the Vikings, and I have the Saints.
No. Tom messed that up. Shout out to Tom messing up my pick. I picked the Saints last week. We can rewind the tape on that one. I'm all in on Alvin Kamara. but I had the Saints.
All right. So let's just say, for argument's sake, Jags versus the Pats, and then Eagles. I such a forgettable team. Can't even remember that they won.
Saint Nick, man.
Everybody count me out.
Saint Nick only delivers once a year, and this was it. Next
bringing the
week,
Super Bowl
he's
home.
going to be fat, gassed, and sitting at home drinking eggnog.
So if the Saints win, who they play? The Eagles?
Yes.
No, they play the winner of the Saints or the Vikings.
Yes.
Well, Saints win, right? Assuming the Saints win.
Well, no. Well, 3 minutes left. The Vikings have the ball back, so it's anybody's game.
I feel like whoever wins is going to lose to the Eagles.
Nice.
Really?
I do, and I think it's going to be a Jacksonville Eagles Super Bowl.
Ooh.
I disagree.
And as much as I would love, I'm gonna stick with Jacksonville. As much as I would love to see the Eagles win for a little quarterback drama during the off season, because Wentz, who's benched and got hurt and is out, brought them to the playoffs. Foles took them through the playoffs and sealed the deal if they do happen to win. It does
They're
bring
already in the playoffs.
it does bring an interesting what happens over the postseason.
I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl.
It's not like he did
I think the
anything to
Eagles
get
are
them
gonna
there.
win the
He's not
Super
no
Bowl.
hero.
You're carrying all the way into you already got your pick.
I think so.
You think the Eagles have the Super Bowl this year. So you're saying Jacksonville Eagles
I'm thinking
Super Bowl.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Just regarding the Jacksonville Jaguars. Might I add, they're also playing without their best wide receiver. For the whole entire season,
true,
they just
Allen
got
Robinson.
Allen Hurts.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
They
him.
lost Allen Robinson. They have all these like misfit toys on wide receiver.
It's true.
And Blake Bortles is still torching defenses. Might I add?
That's actually a good point. I forgot about that. They're losing two of their good.
I looked up today on injury reserve. They have 4 wide receivers. Jalen Strong was another one that started, and Allen Robinson. And they just got Allen Hurts back after like being out for 10 weeks.
So, Tyler, who's playing in the Super Bowl?
Obviously Jacksonville. I have to go with them. Even though my brain is like, you're an idiot, go with the Patriots. Easy pick. I'm going against my brain. I'm going with my heart. I'm following it. Blake Bortles going to his first Super Bowl, and he's going to face against Drew Brees, the other bald wonder, against the other bald guy. So it's going to be Saints and Jaguars.
I believe that it is going to be.
Do you want me to put a drum roll in for you?
Oh my God, no. That would be way too much money. I can't afford to slip you that. I think it's going to be the Pats against the Vikings.
Oh.
And I want to see the Vikings playing at home against the Patriots, and I want, as much as I would like to watch, as I said earlier, I'm going against my words, would like to watch Bill Belichick walk off the field. I would like to see Patriots versus Vikings, but at that point, it ain't going to happen for the Vikings. I think they're going to get to the big dance. I think they're going to stand up in the spotlight. They're going to wave, and then someone's going to huck a retainer at them. They're going to dump the pig's blood. They're going to roll the eyes back, and the game will be over.
I like that pick, Dave. I really do. It's just I'm so in on the boat with Jacksonville that I'm blind to the fact, and I'm so blind to the fact that the Saints do. I really do want to see the Vikings, though, at home in the Super Bowl. That'd be something really cool to see.
So, that covers our picks, and Mike's even got a lock for his who's winning the Super Bowl. Bold choice, sir. Bold choice.
Belichick is going to expose bald
Mike,
Blake Bortles for what he really was.
Eagles.
Eagles.
The Birds.
But one thing I've noticed that Dave, who did you pick again to win?
The Pats.
I feel like the majority of us aren't going with the Pats, so that could be saying
I'm going with the Pats.
Based on principle of what happened in the past. Screw the Patriots.
I get at him on Twitter and Twitch, and
I want to fight all the Patriots fans. Let's go. Bring it.
you definitely don't want the Patriots Nation.
I already had the Titans for
Patriots
breakfast
wrath.
this afternoon, and I'm going to take the Patriots next week. Let's go. Jacksonville.
So, Tyler, you had something big that you want to talk about, something that went to the tune of a guaranteed $100 million. Guaranteed.
Yeah,
Even if they fire
do.
that man 10 minutes into his first game, he's still getting it.
We work at a store filled with nostalgia, and I went back. I looked at all the film with John Gruden. You know, where he was with the Raiders against the Patriots with that epic tuck rule thing that happened, which was a fumble, by the way. I watched it as a confirmed fumble. That was bullcrap. Anyways, then I watched him against the Raiders with the Bucs, and boy, did I get chilled. We're talking about one of the greatest coaches of all time steps away for 10 years or so, and now is coming back, and I'm all in. You know you're all in on a coach when other guys are afraid to be under him, like Rich Gannon, that QB coach. They're afraid to be under him because of his intensity. I'm all in. John Gruden's going to take us to the promised land. All in. Do you agree, Mike?
I agree. I hope so. It's been too
You
long.
don't hope so. You got to know so.
I am looking
I've
forward
been
to seeing.
disappointed too many times.
Don't be disappointed.
I'm a broken
take
man.
John Gruden, take his arms, and he's going to hug you with the warmest, caressive hug.
Now, let's take a moment, Mike. Look deep into that camera. Look deep into that camera. As a Raiders fan, you've been hurt. You've been left out in the cold. Let the people at home know that are you on the fence about John Gruden? Is he going to save you?
I hope so. From the deepest part of my heart.
Just like Saxonville, I'm all in on John Gruden. I'm all in.
So,
I'm looking forward to John Gruden.
It'll be interesting
it'll be
for
fun.
sure.
you know why I look
Dan,
forward?
as a fair-weather Raiders fan, are you for John Gruden being the coach?
Oh yeah,
You think he's going to lead us to the promised land, right?
I think it may be 1 year. I think playoffs next season. I think he gets him to the playoffs. But I think the following year, he's developing quite the coaching staff. Who did they pick up?
Oh,
Gunther.
Tom Cable.
Tom Cable used to be a former head coach of the Raiders. They brought
Well,
him.
also, if you look at John Gruden's stats, every time he lost in the playoffs, he lost to the team that won the Super Bowl. So,
Right.
I mean,
I
me
feel,
something.
I feel like they'll make playoffs next season as like, okay, we're really getting things going. And then the following year, they'll be right on top of it.
Also, Tyler.
Anybody that says John Gruden's a bad coach, you can come and fight me too. Same with Patriots fans. Let's go.
Also, Tyler, where did John Gruden work between being outed by the Bucs or leaving the Bucs and then today?
Well, he got canned by the Bucs and then started working at the QB camp. Started his own QB camp.
And what network did that belong to? His QB camp?
I don't talk about that network.
He worked for ESPN. So he got to, for years.
I don't recognize ESPN.
For years, he got to walk around in all these different football stadiums. He got to walk around backstage. He got to talk to all the coaches. He got all these in-depth interviews. He got in the players' heads with his QB camps and all these things. He knows. I'm going to say with the last QB camps, he knows at least 3 years worth of people to at least watch for draft picks.
And he interviewed Derek Carr.
Yep.
And Derek Carr said to him, "Let's go win a championship."
But my
back in
thing with that,
2014.
Dave,
tape.
is that I feel like things change like almost every year, 2 years in every
Yes. Oh,
in
they
every
definitely do.
organization. So how much does he really gain by going and you study, let's say, the Patriots in 2016? By 2017, they're completely different. In 2018, now they're going to be completely different even more. It's like, yeah, maybe you can see their facility and know what they have in there to like. But even that, I mean, the amount of stadiums are getting demolished and rebuilt, and it's almost like, can you really keep track of that? Because I feel like it's changing. NFL is almost like Las Vegas, where it's always
Score alert.
It's always
Score alert. The Vikings just bombed a field goal from 53 yards. They are now up 23-21 with 1.5 minutes left.
Oh, shit.
There goes my Super Bowl pick.
So, what's in your desk tray, Dan?
nothing. But I'll go with Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat?
I've been playing. I've been doing a little training for Mortal Kombat.
Tyler,
and
what's in your disc tray?
See, I don't need Mortal Kombat in my dish tray. I'll go in there and just beat them without it. But this is my dish tray. Wolfenstein 2, baby. Do you like killing Nazis? this is the game for you.
Mike, what's in your disc tray?
Overwatch. I was
Ah.
playing it recently.
Whoa.
Very nice.
Disgusting.
Dave, what's in
The
your
League.
tray?
In my disc tray is a game called Gundam Versus. I know, but it's 3v3 mecha fighting, and it is sweet.
Oh God.
Voter, can we get a nerd like pop-up thing? Just like we have the
Bald.
ball
Bald.
No, you have to accuse me of being bald.
Bald. That game is bald.
So that is a bald
Bald.
choice, sir.
I've never even heard of it, so bald.
Oh, thank you, Dave, for asking what's in my disc tray. That's very bald of you, considerate of you. Of course, that game is Recore for the Xbox One, but you knew that because you joined me for recording for my Let's Play series earlier in the day. It's coming out every Monday, so the third episode just went up yesterday by the time that this goes up, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a pretty fun game. It's okay to play on your own, but it's a lot of fun to play with a friend and make fun of some of the weird stuff and animations. We certainly had some interesting things going on. So thank you so much for asking me what's in my disc tray and not forcing me to, say, record my own thing from the editing bay afterwards. Thank you, Dave. Back to you.
So, Dan, you have a special presentation for us?
Well, not really a presentation. I had a lady come in with her kids the other day, and the one kid goes, it was probably like a teenager, he goes, what do you guys do with all your defective stuff? Well, we kind of have a little bit of a process that goes on with our defective stuff. Everything gets destroyed. So pretty much they get destroyed by our night staff, Tom and John. So we kind of snuck in the other day to take a look. Let's show you guys a quick look at it.
And we're back. I loved hearing and seeing our handling of our defective items. Didn't you, Dan?
I must say the
Can we make a bigger mess? Like, can Tom and John not maybe pick up when you're done, or?
that was great form on Tom's part. I thought I was hoping that one of those shards would hit you in the eye so you couldn't play Mortal Kombat anymore.
What's up with the hats in there?
What
anyway?
you don't see is me seeing all the pieces all over the place that I now need to go and clean up. I mean,
It looked like the governor from Walking Dead.
But, by the way, just before we wrap up, we do have a story about 3 and 11, don't we? We're successful promoting via podcasting.
yes, Dave. One person came in and mentioned the 3 and 11, and they got their 5% discount.
Yeah!
And mentioned they found it
Thank
on
you
Google.
for coming in.
Found us on Google. Actually didn't know. I've never heard of the store, the company before, and watched us, loved it. He referenced by saying, "Oh, I see you had a bad fantasy football season." And I was like, "Yeah."
Dad, you went 3 and 11, dude.
0-10 for a while. 0-10.
But not last place.
You were not last place.
But not last place.
Which is hilarious because, again, this was his final record, and he wasn't last. So, do we want to add the flex to it? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us behind the counter. We will be back. We'll be back next week with a special guest from the Saratoga Comic-Con.
I'm waiting, Dave.
And many, many more episodes to come. Like, share, subscribe, follow us.
Subscribe.
Exactly.
Behind the counter.
Behind the counter. And 3, 2, 1.